Hi, I'm Derek Coates with Dormicaba. Today we're going to talk about the E7900 gateways and repeaters. So in front of me I have two devices. This one is a Gen 1, this one is a Gen 2. That's really the only difference between them, the Zigbee Gen 1 and Gen 2. And if you have a question of the difference between the two, watch my video on the Gen 1 versus Gen 2 Zigbee. But the concept is the same here. We're talking about gateways and routers. Now the easiest way for me to keep these straight in my head is the gateway is the actual receiver of all the data. Routers are repeaters. So gateway is actually what we're connecting back to our software with, what controls all that data flowing through. Receivers can be used and they just act as a repeater for the lock. So the lock can talk to the repeater, it can send that data to the gateway, then the gateway sends it to the software. Now, me personally, I prefer to try to have all gateways and no routers if I can, just so everything's wired. If I've already got to get a wire to it to power it, I'd rather just get a PoE wire to it, have all my data going, and kind of break my network down that way. So I have fewer locks per gateway, and it's talking directly to the software. However, there might be times you need to use those routers or repeaters. Had a situation at a site where we couldn't get wires, our network cables, down to some of those hallways where I needed them for the locks. So we got a gateway there as close as we could to that area, and then we got power to the others and just put in the same device, just programmed as a receiver, or a router as we call it. So I had a gateway close to the network, and then down the hallway I had two of the routers, so I could repeat that signal down the hallway. What can we have on the network? Well, I can have up to 25 locks on a gateway, and I can have up to 8 routers per gateway. So you do have a little bit of limits there, just how much data can flow, but in reality, you typically end up with distance limits by the time you get to 25 doors anyway. You've pretty much pushed the limit of how far that signal can reach. We do have another video on how to do a site survey and checking to see how close you need those gateways, routers, and locks to be together. So feel free to watch that one. But I just wanted to discuss the gateways and routers. They are the exact same device. This can be a gateway or a router. Just depends on how I program it in the software. Same thing with the Gen 1. That could be a gateway or a router, depending on how it's programmed. Just wanted to give you the tips on the gateways and routers. Thank you.